is one of the most important punches to develop, because one of the good things about the jab, you're going to see, it's going to be a punch you can throw from anywhere, from any angle. You can throw it while you're falling. You can repeat it, and it sets up everything else. And it's the longest punch you have. Okay? It's also the quickest. A lot of people try to throw hard jabs. That's what the cross is for. The jab is a different weapon. It's supposed to be quick, make them blink, make them move, so you can do other things behind it. Okay? When you throw on the jab, elbows are in, and it's like I got a knife in between my knuckles, and I'm pushing, not slapping. I'm pushing, because that's where the power's at, and I snap it at the end and bring it back home. It comes back the same way it left. It doesn't drop. Okay? And you hit with those first two big knuckles. Even when you got gloves on. Because you got to defend yourself, you're not going to have gloves on. Nobody's going to attack you. Say, hold on, let me get my gloves. You throw your gloves on and come back to them. All right, if they do, go get your gun. Go get your gloves. That's a really cool mug. You know, make an example of them. And record it. Say, well, hold on, can somebody record this real quick? All right, so you think of driving that jab in, you know, drive it, snap it in, and bring it right back. That elbow, I always reloaded that elbow right there to make sure that elbow's not up here. That's exposed here, and it takes away power. Your power is here. Just like if I want to push somebody, I don't have anything here. My power's there for the push. Okay? So everybody just in the air. You're going to throw that jab, and you breathe on contact. Okay? And there's different types of breathing. You hear boxers doing that. I don't like that because I feel like I'm holding my area. You know, martial artists, we all practice, you know, letting that out with a sigh. So me and all my guys, I let it naturally come out. Sometimes different sounds depending on what I'm doing. You see, my breathing, my noise has changed because I let my body decide what sound I need to make, because the sound that I make when I'm here might be different than when my body's here and I'm doing something. Okay? So for 1 minute, just in the air, I want you to practice that jab. Okay? All of us. Okay, when you hold your pass, the important thing is when you hold pass with your partner, the way that you hold is going to determine a lot about your training. It's just like only certain people can hold for me when I'm really hit. Because if they don't hold correctly, I can break my own hands because they're holding crooked, they're not giving the right pressure. You know, you can hyperextend an elbow. So you got to make sure when you got a training partner, you start getting to know each other. When you start hitting hard, especially throwing a lot of combinations. The main thing is, first of all, as a striker, you don't ever get hard. You ever want to just come in and start blasting the pad. You got to make sure that the person who's holding the pad is ready. So when I start off, it's always going to be just a touch until I know she can handle my power for one. All right? And then you see when she's holding that pad at, she's got it away from her face, never off to the side. What's that right there, y'all? It's a key lock. You slowly, you know, in 2 years, my shoulder's killing me. That's because you can have this big boom, boom, you know, slamming against there. So it's there, put it up. She's got it out there, and see how it's away from her face too? It's like my what do you call him? My manager. See how it's away from her face too? So, because a lot of times when you start getting tired, you know, you're still trying to work hard, you might miss the pad. So she don't want it right here by her face. Okay? So that's how you want to hold the pad, just like that. When the person hits, you give a little bit of pressure back. All right, one thing I don't do, you'll see that we don't do, go ahead and slap. We don't slap. Now, there's a lot of world champion boxers and trainers that do that. And they got great fighters. To me, it makes no sense because nobody's going to move their head into your punch. And from old school martial arts, what's the most important thing? Releasing the energy at the right time. You know, so I want to make sure that when my people punch, they release that power. You know, they release that power right on contact. But if she's slapping my hand, I don't even know where the contact is. That's the way I look at it. So we just hold solid. Okay. All right, so everybody's going to work 1 minute with your partner. Keep your hand up. Throwing that jab punch. Good. All right, now we're going to work the cross. Everybody stands. Use some room out there. And y'all can kind of stack her off now. You don't have to be side by side. So some of y'all come forward. All right, everybody, put your hands down. All right. The most important part of the cross is this. So let's get ready to do for a minute. It's this right here. Everybody go ahead and work that. Keep your head straight. Turning that shoulder, trying to get that shoulder straight ahead. Act like there's a stick going straight down your head, coming out into the ground. Your shoulders turn like that. Don't lean. If you lean, you lose control. Keep your head straight. Go ahead, do it. Look at it. There you go. Good. Everybody want to see my foot? Watch my right foot too. So that heel's almost going way over there. All right, everybody relax. Put a focus down on this one. What's the hardest punch in the world? Probably this right here. Right. Body weight behind it. Use both hands. Hardest punch in the world. What's my chances of landing that? Yeah. You know, maybe it was somebody who's frozen and scared to death or in a good movie or something like that. So we always have to do, when it comes to punches, you can get a lot of power from being wild. You know, hold across again. I can get a lot of power in my cross doing that. But what are my chances of landing that? He's probably going to see it. He can see me winding up. Hold again. There's tons of power in that. But what if I miss? I'm off balance, and I got no defense afterwards. What if I hit him and it don't hurt him? He's going to be pissed off, you know, and I'm off balance. I'm right in his range now. So you're always trying to find the ways to gain power without sacrificing too much control, okay? And the power in that cross comes from this. That's what I mean enough. All right, because I got way more power in my core than I do in this tricep and this shoulder doing this. That's just a jab. But at the same time, I don't want to do that to try and gain power. Okay? So now you're going to do the cross. Right here. And then straight back home. Same way of that. Boom. Everybody go ahead and do it there. And don't lean. Don't lean here. Don't come up on your tippy toes. Keep all that foot stuck in the ground. Because one thing you're going to learn is when you punch, when you start learning how to punch hard, your power starts and ends in that foot. When I laid that cross, all that power was down there and came right back up. If I let that foot come off the ground, my power goes off the back door. All right, you see, a lot of times you tell people you can stomp when you hit right on contact, and that'll help. So try not to lean. And then if you need to get closer to your target, to your person, that's what footwork's for. So now reach out there. All right, go ahead. One of the most important things to always remember about your weapons that you're learning, developing, is when to use them. And you got to know your range, the distance. You know, you practice hitting pads and hitting bags, so you can practice hitting hard, practice hitting a target, and practice releasing power at a certain time. But then when it comes fight time, you got to know how to do that while moving. You got to know how to close the distance. You got to know how to hit a person and throw it fast enough so they don't move out of that target area before you release that power. But you still have to know what strikes you can and can't use in what distance. And of course, the jab and the cross are more outside punches. All right? If Rebecca's here on me, I don't want to use jab and cross because I'm smothering my power. And you'll see that that's what happens with a lot of beginners. Is because as soon as somebody gets in range, we do a lot of drills just like this here. Just to get people used to feeling uncomfortable with somebody in their face. It sets your intuition on. You know, I teach that for awareness. You know, I do it to the girls. I say, how does this feel? They're like, oh my God. I say, exactly. You know when something's not right. But the whole thing is, when fight time comes, you usually train here because you're holding pads, and then when the real fight hits, it's here. But you can even see in most amateur fighters, and a lot of pro fighters still, that when they close, that's why they look like this, closing the distance. And they close their eyes and they fall in. The instead of slowly engaging, because they're not used to being that close. And then that's when they start throwing jabs across from here, and nobody's getting hurt because the power is smothered. You know, the power of the jab cross is way out there. Okay? So know your range for your strikes. Now we're going to work close range punches, which is going to